So hello and welcome. Today I'm going to again show you how to create some HTML5 animated banner in the Adobe Animate. So before we will start, I will show you what we are going to be doing for you to see whether this tutorial is worth watching for you or not. So this is it. So right now I am on the site freepik and we are going to be downloading one image from here, one vector, and it is this one. I searched for the study, but I'm going to provide the link in the description. So just click on this and hit download. You can go with free download, or if you have premium version you can go with that one. And if we click free download, you will have to go and attribute the author. But if you want to use this commercially, I think that the freepik is pretty cheap. It's like less than $10 a month. But I already saved this, so I'm going to hit cancel. And this dinosaur is going to be sad if you don't copy this, and if you copy this, he is going to be happy. So it's funny. But let me go to the tutorial. Here I am in the folder, and I'm going to right click and I'm going to choose extract here. And I'm going to have some files, and usually when you download something from the freepik, you are going to have AI file, which stands for the Illustrator, but right now we do not have. We have this APS and JPEG, so we want to open this APS, and if you double click, it should open this in the Illustrator. And if not, just open your Illustrator and drag the file in there, but it should open like this. We are going to have some warning about some missing fonts, but we are not going to get any of the fonts, so I'm going to just hit close. Alright, so now if I click, I can move all of them together because they are grouped together. So what I can do is right click, and there is an option ungroup, or Ctrl Shift G, but without shortcut, just click ungroup. And right now if I click, we are going to have it like so. Alright, now I would like to go ahead and change the color of this. And for this I am going to create new file in the Illustrator. This is optional, but this is just how I would work. So I'm going to hit Ctrl N, and I can go with 500 by 500. It doesn't matter, we are not going to be saving this, but I will just hit create, and I will go to the shape tool. I will choose some color. So something like this, and this is only to see my white shapes because. So I'm going to draw it like this. Then I will go to the layer and I will lock it so I can't move it right now. And what I will do is I will click on this one, geography. Maybe this is going to be art. This is going to be some chemistry, and this one maybe some research, I don't know. And I'm going to drag them in here, like so, and I will move it a little bit, and I will put this in here, like so. And right now what I want to do is I want to highlight all of them, and that's why I have locked this one to be able to highlight all of them without this shape. And I will click on this stroke because they don't have fill, like so. I will double click and I'm going to choose white color. And I'm doing this in the Illustrator because this would be a little bit harder to change the color in the Adobe Animate. So we have them like so. Now we can go to the Animate. So I will open my Animate. I can close this, and here is my Animate. Depending on the version, this can look a little bit different, but we need to hit create new button or go to the file and new, but I can hit create new. And now I'm going to have some kind of options. And there are some presets, but we do not need to use them. What we want to go with is this 336 by 280. This is just the standard banner size. You can actually go to the ads and find it in here. Frame rate, it's optional. We can go with this 30, you can go with 24, it's up to you. But we want to have HTML5 canvas. We are not using ActionScript. I'm sorry for any of you who would like to ActionScript. We are working in the HTML5 canvas, and I will hit create. Okay, so this is going to open me Adobe Animate, and now I can get my vectors from the Illustrator. So I will go to the Illustrator, I'm going to highlight all of them like so, and I'm going to drag them one more time like this, and if I'm able to drag them, I'm going to drag them to the Adobe Animate, and I'm going to leave the mouse. This can take a few seconds sometimes, and now we are going to have some option. We can paste this as a bitmap, but we do not want to do this because this would paste it as an image, and it would even put all of these 4 vectors to one image. So we definitely do not want to go with this. We want to paste using IE important preferences. The only time that I would use this bitmap is when the vector would be really complex, and in that case it would be better to have it as an image and not as a vector. Okay, but we want to go with this one, and I'm going to hit OK. So right now we have these 4 vectors. We do not see them because they are white. So I'm going to click on the canvas anywhere. Here is my stage background, and I will click on the stage background, and I can choose some blue color like so. You can go in this color wheel, and you can choose some your own color if you want, like this. Alright. So right now what I'm going to do is I'm going to highlight all of them, and I'm going to align them to the center. We do not want to have them in the center, but we would like to have them on the one place. So I'm going to align them like so, and right now I can select all of them and I can move them where I want, like this for example. Now I want to again highlight them, and I want to convert all of this to the symbol. So I will go to the modify, and I'm going to hit convert to symbol or shortcut F8, and I can call this to be icons. I'm going to click OK, and right now if I click, you can see that it is movie clip, it is some kind of symbol. Okay, I'm going to double click, and before I will double click, check in here, we are in the scene 1, and if I double click, we are in the scene 1 in the icons. And now you do not see it because the timelines look the same, but we are in a different kind of timeline. So you will see it right now, because I'm going to again highlight them. I'm going to right click on them, and I'm going to choose distribute to layers, because we would like to have them each on the individual layer. There is a shortcut, I don't use it much, but you can do it like so. Alright, so now we have 5 layers, one of them is empty, so I can go ahead and delete it like so. Alright, if you go ahead and hide 3 of them, you can see them like so, like this. But we can show all of them for now, and you can see right now we are in the scene in the icons, and we have 4 layers. But if I click back to the scene, this is the main timeline, and on the main timeline we have only 1 layer, and in the inner timeline, if I double click, we are going to have more layers. This is how Adobe Animate and how Flash used to work. Alright, so now you can go ahead and rename these layers if you want. I am not going to do this in this tutorial. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to extend the timeline for the layer 5. So I will go to the frame 20, and I'm going to click F5. Or you can right click and choose insert frame. You can see in here F5, there is an option to insert keyframe, but it is something a little bit different. Because insert frame is if you do not want to change the position of this. If we create a new keyframe, we could change the position and animate in between, but we do not want to do this. Then I'm going to move this layer 4 in here, and I will go to the frame. I will go to the frame 40, and I will click F5, and I'm going to do this with all of them like so. F5, and the last one in here, frame 60, and now I can show you one more time. Right click, insert frame. Okay. One thing that I don't like is that if I go to the frame 20, we see both of them. So I am rather going to move all of them like so. So they are not going to be overlapping. Okay, I could do this at the beginning, but I just wanted to show you that if they are going to be overlapping like so, you're going to see both of them at the same time for one frame, and it is going to create some kind of ugly glitch effect. So something like this. Okay. One thing that we should do, and we should always do, is go ahead and save our file. So I'm going to hit File, I'm going to hit Save, and I am going to go to the place where I have this. So it is in here, banner, and I am going to call this to be study, for example, and I'm going to hit Save. Okay, so now I can go back to my scene 1 by clicking in here, and if I click Ctrl Enter, we are going to open this in the browser, and we are going to have just animation where these animations, where these icons are going to be changing like so. I will go back to animate, and now what I want to do is animate this on the main timeline to go up and down. And it is going to animate in main timeline up and down, and in the inner timeline there is going to be this changing. Okay, we can see that inside we have 80 frames, so I would like to do the same thing in here, in the main timeline. So I can even call this to be main icons. Okay, and this beginning keyframe, I'm going to put this down a little bit. I'm holding Shift and arrows. I will go to the frame 80. I will click F6, or I can right click and insert keyframe. You can see that now we have keyframe, but we do not want to change this position because we want to go to frame 40, insert keyframe F6, and we are going to move this up like so. Okay, by default there is not going to be any animation in between, but what we can do is highlight it like so. You can go one by one, but if you want to do both of them at the same time, you can highlight it like so. It doesn't matter how many frames you highlight, but you can just right click and choose Create Classic Twin. Okay, and now we are going to have an animation like this. I can hit Ctrl Enter, and now we are going to have an animation which goes up and down, and which is going to change them like so. Alright, fine. Now, it's a pity that here in the Illustrator we don't have the image. So what I can do very quickly, and I'm going to provide this in the description, I'm going to open this image, this JPEG in the Photoshop, and I'm going to get the image of that guy. So I will go to the Photoshop very quickly. You do not have to do this. I can provide this in the description, but maybe you can learn something a little bit about the Photoshop. This is something that you do a lot when you are working in HTML5 banners in Adobe Animate, that you use Illustrator and Photoshop. So I'm going to drag it like so in here, and I am going to get a quick selection tool, because when we are doing something like this, we do not need like the grade selection, and I'm going to select it like so. Okay, so it's like in here, quick selection tool, W, under that is magic wand tool, and if you are going to hold Alt, you are going to get minus. So if you want to get rid of something, like in here, I can click with Alt like so, and if I don't hold anything, I am going to have plus. And with the Alt and right mouse, you can make this smaller or bigger, or you can do it in here. But I am going to continue to create selection like so. I'm going to zoom in a little bit. I'm going to get this ear. I'm going to get rid of this. So I have head like so, good. I will get rid of this. And I do not want it to do it like so, but without this image or some kind of face in the banner usually works really good. So people like to click on the faces. So I am going to do it like so, and this stamp, and I should be done. Okay, so right now I am going to click select and mask. Hopefully I have everything. No, I don't have, so I'm going to hit cancel, and I'm going to get rid of this stuff. Okay, one more time, and it seems that I have everything. In here I'm going to just click few things. I'm going to click this decontaminate color. It is going to help it a little bit. And I can click the smart radius and create something like this. Okay, so right now I am done. And I'm going to choose that I want new layer with layer mask. And I'm going to click OK. So right now what I want to do is duplicate this layer. To make a copy, Ctrl J. I'm going to hide this one. And I will click on this mask, I will right click and I am going to choose apply layer mask. And as I said, you do not need to do this, but you can watch and maybe you will learn something a little bit about the Photoshop. So now, when I have this, like so, I'm going to hit Ctrl N for the new document. And I would like to go with the same size that I have in the Adobe Animate, because we do not want to have this image to be too big. So this 336 by 280, hit create, and I'm going to drag this inside. Initially you are not going to see anything because he has a white t-shirt, but I'm going to zoom out a little bit. I'm going to hit Ctrl T, and I'm going to scale this down, like so. You can go ahead and convert this to the smart object, but I do not need this, so something like so is going to be fine. Okay, so like this, enter. I'm going to hide the background and I'm going to save this very quickly. So file, export, save for web legacy or export as. I prefer this one, I don't know why, but it is pretty much the same. PNG 24, like so, and just hit save and go to the place where you want to save this. So I have it somewhere. I'm going to cut this. Okay, so here I am. I created a folder for this image and I'm going to call this image 1, for example, and I'm going to hit save. Alright, now I will go to the folder image like so, and I'm going to drag this to the Adobe Animate. But before, I will go to the Adobe Animate and I want to create new layer. I do not want to drag it on this layer, so I'm going to create a new layer. I will be on this layer. And then I am going to drag it like so. Alright, like this. And if you click this icon, clip content outside the stage, you are going to see how this is going to be looking in the browser, because this part of the hand is not going to be visible in the browser, for example, but we can have something like this. Okay. Now I can create some kind of button. So I'm going to create a new layer, and I will go to the rectangle tool. I want a white fill. Here you can have some kind of border radius if you want, but I do not need to have. I'm going to just create something like this, and I will get the text, and I will get maybe, I can try with blue color like so, and I'm going to type study online. Alright, and I will hit Q for the selection tool, or you can scale it down with the font size like this. So something like this, and I'm going to maybe create this white background a little bit bigger, like so. Okay, so we have something like this, and I can just hit F8 and call this to be button, but this is not really important, but we can do this. So study online, and maybe I will move it a little bit down like so, and I'm going to double click in here. Okay, one thing, this image is going to cover also this part, so if you want to click on this one, either click in here, or you can go ahead and lock the image, and then you will be able to click on these icons. So I'm going to double click, and I'm just going to check the order. So we have, this is going to be chemistry, this is going to be research, this is going to be geography, and this is going to be art. So one more time, okay. So we can go ahead and create this text and animate them, and we can animate them the similar way as these icons. So I'm going to get the text tool. I can go with the white color. I'm going to create new layer, and I'm actually going to rename them because we are starting to have a lot of layers. So this is text. This is going to be button, and this is going to be, this is the image, yeah. So this is going to be image like so. And on this text, I am going to type chemistry like so, and I can make this a little bit bigger like this. Okay, then I'm going to do the same thing as with the icons, because I do not want to have all of them on the main timeline, because we are going to create more text. So I will click F8 or go to the modified, convert to symbol. I can call this to be text, and I will click OK. I will go inside. So right now I am in the scene, in the text, and I can click on the chemistry. I can right click, and it is not going to be working because I need to be on the layer 1 when I right click, and I'm going to choose duplicate layers. I'm going to hide the layer 1, it is like the same, and I'm going to rename this to be research like so. Okay, I'm going to right click, duplicate the layer, hide the bottom one, and this one is going to be geography, I guess. Geography. Okay, I'm going to duplicate this last time like so, hide this one, and this is going to be art like this, or you can type drawing. I am going to type drawing because the art is short, it doesn't look good. And if I misspell something, I'm sorry. So I'm going to show all of them right now, and we can do the same thing. So we can hit F5 on the frame 20. We can move this on the layer 21 up to frame 40, and like so. So this on the 41 to 60, and make sure that you are going to do the same length as the icons and to end on the frame 80, like so. So I will go back to my scene, and on the main timeline we are not going to see these changes, but if I hit Ctrl Enter, we are going to have something like this. Okay, and I can go ahead and move this text up a little bit like so on the main timeline, so it is not going to be overlapping. Alright, fine. Now I'm going to show you how you can export the files. So if I go to the file where I saved my banner, it should be in here. I am going to have some animate file and some recover file, it is fine. And then I'm going to have some JS file, some HTML file, and some images, like so. And I do not want to have them in here, so I'm going to delete this JS, delete this HTML, and delete these images. And I'm actually going to create new folder, like so. And this folder is going to be called index. And then I will go back to the animate, and I'm going to hit file, publish settings. Here I'm going to click on this icon, and I'm going to get to the folder. So like this, and in here index, and I'm going to call this to be index. I'm going to hit save, and I'm going to hit OK, and then I will hit file, and I'm going to hit publish. Fine. And if I go in the banner, in the index, we are going to have these images, this HTML, and this JS. Alright, and if you want to see how to prepare this banner for the Google Ads, because there is like some few additional steps that we have to create, I am going to provide a link for the tutorial where I explain it, and I'm going to provide the information where this information starts. And maybe I'm going to create some additional tutorial about this, because I do not want to do this for all of the tutorials. Alright, so this is it. Thank you very much for watching. As I said, I'm going to provide in the description some link how to prepare this for the Google Ads. And if you're interested in more videos like this, you can go ahead and subscribe, or you can go ahead and check the channel. There is more tutorials like this. And if you like this video, get the like, maybe share it with friend. And yeah, thank you very much for watching. Maybe I will see you in some other tutorial. Goodbye.